what's up? Welcome to the stream. All this stuff's getting heavy. I'll dump what I don't need. Everyone's favorite journalist, reporter Amy, is hot on the scoop. I'm heading out. You've been fabulously helpful. Already? Before you go, Espio and I wanted to give you your presents. My presents? You're both too sweet, thank you. Vector, it seems we have more guests. Amy, there you are. Have you found any leads yet? Oh, the detective pair needs help from the birthday girl? I'm good, what about you? Good too. Just playing this game. Well, she knows everyone's allowed to be sassy on their birthday. This tip is just too juicy to ignore. I'll see you around. Don't worry, Sonic. I'll be the one to avenge you. And quick. But how are you gonna leave? The door to the next car is locked. Oh, you doubt the birthday girl? The birthday girl has a master key. Right. The birthday girl gets the birthday key. Of course, it's a birthday privilege. I'll solve this case before anyone else. Bye! Amy may be hasty, but she's thorough. So what are you two doing? Looking mighty suspicious, I say. I'm a detective, so I can't be the murderer. And I'm, making sure everything goes well. Things aren't going great. Not sure if you've forgotten, but there was a murder. Mystery, fuck. Well, I mean, besides murder, my social skills non-existent. Apparently, my reading skills too. I'm Victor, the butcher. I'm licensed to handle raw meat, and I'm Espio, the poet. Poetry, a Renaissance message from poet to reader, meant to challenge our delicate perspectives with the most rhythmic prose. Can I hear some? Sure, great. Teardrops in the spring. Can you hear me sing? La 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 dee dee dee. Was that it? I have more if you like. Cherry blossoms in the spring. I'm satisfied for now, thanks. At least he's rhyming, I suppose. Louise and I are here to establish both of your alibis. Can you walk us through what happened after Amy had everyone leave the dining car? Oh sure, it's simple. We just explained this to Amy, actually. Oh sure. Okay. When we're all sent off, Rouge, Blaze, Shadow, and Sonic all passed through this library car, where Amy told me and Espio to stay. I promptly picked a book off the shelf and made myself comfortable. Vector got bored, so he left to see what Knuckles was up to in the saloon car. Yep. Where was Rouge? What happened? We happened to see her lipstick stain on a cup at the saloon car. Rouge came over to the library car seemingly looking for something. Then went to search the saloon car. She came back shortly after. We heard her shout, "No way!" at the brochure stand over there. But she left back to the casino car before Shadow came through and locked the door. Wonder what she found. She obviously been on the hunt for something. After Rouge left, Shadow walked through the casino car. then entered the library car and locked the door behind him. More importantly, why has Shadow been locking doors? Shadow walked through the library car to the saloon car where Knuckles and I were playing games. He insisted on showing us up at Super Monkey Ball. I got so engrossed by the rolling monkey action I hardly noticed when Shadow left the saloon car. I guess he walked through the library car to the casino car again, locking the door behind him. Then returned to the lunch car where he was meant to be stationed. When Vector came back, we realized Knuckles locked the door to the saloon car. We were stuck in the library car. That's when the train sped up. We were worried about the bookshelves falling on us, but we got through it alright. I imagine it's like bolt down or something. We sat trapped here until Amy arrived asking questions. She's the one that told us somebody murdered Sonic. And that's all that happened. With all these locked doors, it seems Vector or Espio couldn't have left the library car or the saloon car. Thank you both for your cooperation. We're just gonna peek around and we'll return with any questions. If you return with any meat, I'll chop it up for you. It's such a weird thing to say. He shouldn't have been a butcher. And if you'd like to be serenaded with a poem, I've got you covered too. Thanks, guys. Their alibis seem solid enough, but we should still search for clues. What we're looking for is any evidence that proves what they're saying is true. We need to confirm Vector's reason for leaving his post and determine if Espio was actually in the library car reading. A tall task, but we can do it. Let's get to the bottom of this, Tails. Absolutely. Oh, brochures. There are travel destination ideas here, like amusement parks, caravans, hotels, restaurants, and all. Please look at this. There's a couple of maps here. This seems to be a map of the library car. The books are categorized by genre, which are listed here. I love a good overhead map. Let's take it. Library map is added to your inventory. We should take this brochure about a cave too. Look, there's stalagmites. Nah, leave it. Yeah, that's fair. Nobody shares my fondness for caves. Okay. So many books on the ground. I wish we had time to pick them all up. I sadly have no interest in picking up these books. A lot of these were knocked out by the train speeding up. But Rouge pulled a lot of these out too, searching for something. What reckless behavior. I feel sorry for the poor books. The spines are creasing. They're opening too far. This kid feels empathy for everything. Okay. Xiao hangs precariously from a tree branch. The large text below reads, "Hang in there." Wow, I really need to see this. This little child's hanging there, refusing to use his wings to fly to safety because choosing the hard way is often the most rewarding. That's beautiful. If this child can stick to his principles and find strength, then I can too. There's no way that there was that much thought put into this poster, right? Frame right there. A globe of our marvelous planet. I haven't traveled around much. The islands are fun and all, but I'd love to visit some of the countries. They're a lot of fun, honestly. Plenty of wonderful people and shops. The food can't be either. Sounds perfect for vacation. The conductor was talking about Spagonia, if you've ever been there. I have actually. If you're ever visiting, be sure to stop at the university and say hi to Professor Pickle. He'll tell you everything about the area and make one scrumptious sandwich. I'll keep that in mind, thanks. This group knows everyone and has been everywhere, haven't they? Something's always hidden in the trash. Let's check there. I hate to say it, but there's nothing here. Ah. I really thought there'd be something there. Louise, are you sad there was nothing in the trash bin? No, I'm alright. I'm sure there'll be something hidden in the next trash bin we find. You really think so? Yeah. We just gotta stay optimistic. Yeah, okay. These trash bins hide a secret, I'm sure of him. Louise, you're pretty unconventional, but I like that. Was that supposed to be a compliment? What's this bright red book? Oh yuck, this reeks of the evil scientist Dr. Eggman. Yep, this is Dr. Eggman's autobiography and recipe book. What kind of recipes? Who cares? I wouldn't trust any book he's written. It's weird this is even here. Maybe people just appreciate an omelet. You may not be wrong. Let's just take a pause for a second. These chairs are very comfy, so plush. Puts me right into the mood to read. Makes me want to nap, personally. In fact, maybe I will rest my eyes a bit. Louise, no, don't fall asleep. There's been a murder, remember? If I had a ring for every time a murder ruined my nap time. Poor thing, that arm is really struggling to clean up this car. To be fair, I wouldn't want to clean up all this mess either. Let's just leave it alone to do its thing. Yeah, probably for the best. Oh, nothing else. Fancy a poem? Can I get a poem about space? I've made it up to space with my beloved antique vase, but a mistake in my haste dropped the vase from my embrace. So my antique I must now replace. What caused you to drop the vase? Don't read too deeply, it's just a poem. He hasn't thought it through, has he? First. Very well. Did you bring any meat to chop? I may be butcher, but they confiscated my meat cleaver before getting on the train. You actually tried to bring a knife on the train? I'm a man of a fantasy tales. Without a knife, I'm just a chef in a ketchup-stained apron, not a butcher. I think if you had a knife on you, we'd definitely think you were the murderer. What if I hid the knife? You know, I'm not the biggest fan of all this line of thought. Are you missing something? Uh-oh. Wow, I wish I could stop and look at all these books. But Sonic needs me. No time to rest. Alright, let's move on then. I mean, a little peek wouldn't hurt. He's scavenging through all these books titles excitedly. He's like a kid in a candy shop, or in this case, a genius in a train library. That's odd. I know some books have fallen out on the floor and everything, but every book on these shelves is in alphabetical order. But this one? It's the user guide to Mirage Express, the train we're currently on. You think someone found it on the ground and put it back? Maybe it's interesting. Let's make a note of this. There's gotta be a reason he's doing this. We should make a note of it. Yeah, I do believe we should. I think we found enough clues. Let's go interrogate Vector and Espio to find out what really happened. Fancy a poem? Sorry, guess. So the two of you don't believe us, eh? It's not that I don't trust either of you, but I won't be a proper detective without examining the validity of your alibis. Louise and I are here to confirm two things: why Vector left to play games with Knuckles, and if Espio really was hiding in the library car. Vector, we'll start with you. Why did you leave the library car to visit Knuckles? We're prepared to present evidence if you need. Oh, that's easy. I have a word. What? I wasn't entertaining him enough, it seems. Vector enjoys being social. Plus, we're instructed to mingle. I remembered the arcade machine in the saloon, so I figured I'd go check it out. This seems to line up with the information we gathered with Knuckles. Then that brings our attention to you, Espio. Rouge entered the library car, found something, and left. You said you immediately started reading, but were you actually reading the entire time you were in the library car? Of course he was. Once Espio starts reading, he doesn't stop until it's done. I've seen it happen. It must be a good read. What was the book? Espio doesn't owe you that detective let the man live. What if it was embarrassing? What kind of things do you think I read? If you want to talk, I have a hunch on what that book might be. Please, could you help me out? Anyway, you think Espio was reading instructions? What argument could you possibly have to support this? There you go. Hang out. There are books scattered around the floor, sure, but the remaining books on the shelf were all in alphabetical order. All except this manual, meaning someone at the very least picked up the manual and put it back in the incorrect place. This lack of attention to detail isn't normally like you, Espio. Hey now, I won't have you insulting my pal like this. Calm down, Vector. I know you mean well, but I can handle myself. Apologies, Espio. Butcher and a poet, friendship can form anywhere. That is indeed the book I was reading. The Mirage Express Manual. Trains are cool. In that case, I'd like to ask you a few questions about the manual, Louise, if you don't mind. You ask Espio some questions about the manual, just flip to a page and ask away. Oh, I see. Quiz Espio about the manual to prove he read it. Which page should I quiz him on? Okay, what efficient and extremely accurate technology was installed to assist in keeping the train spotless? Robotic arms. During the event, they can perform During events, they can perform a variety of tasks and are responsible for cleaning up trash and messes afterwards. I remember the conductor saying the train can clean itself. Though I have a feeling the train company just didn't want to hire any janitors. The robotic arms can also detect weapons or explosives being brought on the train, ensuring passengers' safety. Seems like Espio aced that question. Louise, hit him with another one. Okay, which picture? What is Mirage Express? This is cancellation policy. No refunds and you'll be charged a no-show fee. This does not apply if you're over the age of 65. Gee, the person who made this rule must have been over 65. Last one, Louise. Let's see if Espio can go 3 for 3. What was implemented to support the conductor's duties and ease general train applications? An intelligent data processing system. It works in tandem with the conductor to ensure smooth travel for guests. Remember this. The train has an autopilot, but it can't access its full suite of capabilities without the conductor present. Now, did I pass your little test? Holy, it's wild for you were able to retain all this information so quickly. A poet's brain is often surprising. I don't know if I'd be bragging about that. You've clearly read the manual. Those answers feel far too specific to be guesses. And you both had the nerve to question my buddy like that? Don't we want to be supporting folks who read? You have to admit though, reading the entire time a murder occurred does sound a bit suspicious, if even true. But he answered all my questions so calmly. That's very impressive. No, I understand everyone's cautious attitude. Vector was the only one to see me reading after all. My alibi is hard to state despite being the truth. Well, you definitely read through the manual, so suppose we can... Espio, is that true? Vector was the only one to see you reading? Yes, that's correct. Problem? Frankly, I don't believe that can be true. We have evidence to back this up. Please? Always puts me on the spot. Okay, Louise, think. We should have a piece of evidence linked to someone who also saw Espio reading. Please pray tell what this has to do with anything. We're up. Louise, let's get our argument together. There you go. Gotta walk through the library car to get to the saloon car, where he set the original high score on the arcade machine. Yeah, but I ended up beating it. It wasn't the high score long. Croc are natural gamers. Espio said he saw Shadow enter the library car, but he's mentioned nothing about Shadow's return. He only mentions that Vector came back. When Shadow left Vector, Knuckles and Vector in the saloon car, Espio was fully seated reading his book for a good while at this point. We know Shadow had to walk back through the library car when he left the saloon car. So there's absolutely no way Shadow and Espio didn't notice one another on Shadow's return trip. I mean, it was a simple slip-up. I was just fully immersed in my book that I didn't notice Shadow. You're telling me the sound of doors opening and locking wouldn't have caused you to look up? Well, you see, I could sense Espio's desperation here. Defeating the argument that he was reading the entire time isn't easy. So if you didn't see Shadow returning from the saloon car to lock all the doors, then at that moment, were you really in the library car at all? But how would Espio leave? Shadow locked all the doors and no one saw Espio in the saloon car. It's a mystery, my dear Louise. No one that I would love Espio to solve. You've gotta believe me. That cool demeanor is vanishing. I was so involved with my book I didn't notice Shadow pass through the library car. Honest. When Vector returned, he even had to tap me on the shoulder to get my attention. Yeah, I think I remember doing that. I must avenge my friend's death, so I'll ask you again, Espio. If you weren't there for Shadow to see you reading, then how did you leave the library car? I didn't. Why doesn't this seem right to me? Tails definitely feel like he's onto something, but I don't see it. Was Espio simply sitting reading, or did he somehow vanish to not notice Shadow return to the library car? What should I do? Make sure our guests are taken care of. I can speak up. Tails, I have a piece of evidence that can solve all of our problems. Alright, my fellow associate, lay it on me. What evidence? What piece of evidence shows Shadow and Espio couldn't have seen one another? Okay, let's get my thoughts in order. Okay. The map. Oh, I see. See the exits? They're right across from one another. A straight path. If Shadow walked down this straight path, there's a way Espio and Shadow couldn't have seen one another. Looks like you have to point out where exactly on the map you mean. Where could have Espio have been for Shadow not to see him? Interesting, that's where I was sitting reading my book. I can second this. When I returned from the saloon car, Espio was in the same spot. It confirms it then you see Shadow and Espio couldn't have seen one another from this spot because a bookcase is in the way. There's no way Shadow could have seen Espio or vice versa. It makes a lot of sense why you never mentioned Shadow's return, Espio. There's just no way you could have seen him. I apologize for losing my cool back there. I felt like I was grasping despite telling the truth. But I'm glad you all believe me now. The alibi isn't most airtight, but I have no further points. Thank you for answering all our questions. We did it. Another pair of alibis validated. Too many locked doors to worry about, but I'm glad everything straightened itself out in the end. While I'm exhausted, I'm gonna crash here for a bit. These chairs are comfy. Likewise, I can use a breather. Sadly, our work isn't done. I have plenty of questions for Rouge and especially Shadow. Oh, it seems the door in the next car is open. Amy must have kept it open when she passed through earlier. Then that's our cue to leave. See you later, Vector, Espio. Give him heck. And if you need any meat chopped up, say the word. I'll keep my poetry sharp for both of you. A murder is on the loose, and while doors keep getting locked, tick, 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 tock goes the clock, while our heroes are in the caboose. At this point, I'm feeling pretty confident in our detective abilities. We're really doing good at this. Come on, Louise, let's see what's next. Surely, you don't want to stay and look at 3 books. Mystery calls. Okay, the investigation continues.